Thanks for watching Community Update for Friday, July 10th. I'm Steve Erickson. The majority of parents who responded to a survey by the Minnesota Department of Education say they are comfortable sending their children back to school this fall. While 64% say they are comfortable, 11% say they are uncomfortable with the idea, and 24% of respondents say they are unsure. Those who said no have concerns about public health or have a student or family member with a medical condition. For those still unsure, the majority would be comfortable if schools implement daily cleaning, have smaller class sizes, and daily health checks. Many would also like to see a decrease in the number of COVID cases. Anoka-Ramsey Community College and the Anoka Technical College are both preparing for a partial return to campus this fall. At Anoka-Ramsey, just 20% of classes will be held on campus for the fall semester, with the rest being conducted online. And at Anoka Tech, all lectures will take place online, with just labs on campus. Those who do come to campus will need to complete a daily health screening, and masks will be required for students, staff, and faculty.
We worked with an architect to look at all of our classrooms that we're going to be utilizing and making sure that they're structured in a way where we have 6 feet social distancing in the classroom. So our class sizes will be reduced a little bit, but again, that's going to ensure that we're following the MDH and CDC guidelines.
As of this week, enrollment for fall semester is down 12% at Anoka-Ramsey and 8% at Anoka Tech. The Minnesota State System has instituted a tuition freeze for the fall. Starting next week, face coverings will be mandatory for anyone entering a court facility in Minnesota. The order came down from the Chief Justice of the Minnesota Supreme Court this week. It requires people wear their own face coverings when doing business at a district or appellate court. Visitors who do not have access to a face covering will be provided one. The order takes effect July 13th. Local government entities across Minnesota are getting nearly $600 million of COVID-19 relief from the state. Anoka County is receiving more than $43 million, while Coon Rapids is getting $4.8 million. Much of the funding will be used for grants for small businesses. An application process is currently being worked out. The remaining funds can be used for unbudgeted expenditures related to the coronavirus. The funding is part of the CARES Act and was authorized by the governor late last month. A recent incident at a local store prompted a free training session this week. More than 24 community members showed up to the bystander intervention training on Thursday night. It was hosted by Transformative Circle, a local group that celebrates diversity in the community. The incident involved a black resident being verbally assaulted by several white people. No one came to her rescue, but a police report was later filed. The training teaches what bystanders should do if they witness something similar.
We're here to give an opportunity to everyone that lives in this Coon Rapids neighborhood to have a fair place to live and to grow, to raise their children, to work, to live. And it's all of our responsibility.
The class, facilitated by Felicia Clark, lasted more than 2 hours. We recorded it in its entirety. Look for it in the coming weeks right here on CTN. New language has been added to the Minnesota's driver's manual on what motorists should do if stopped by law enforcement, especially those with firearms. Motorists are advised to keep their hands on the steering wheel as the officer approaches. Let the officer know they have a firearm and tell the officer the firearm's location. Drivers should not reach around inside the vehicle or get out of the vehicle unexpectedly and approach the officer. Valerie Castile, whose son was shot and killed by a Falcon Heights police officer during a traffic stop 4 years ago, advocated for the change. A resurfacing project that started this week is causing delays for motorists in the northwestern part of the city. The project is taking place on Round Lake Boulevard between Highway 10 and Bunker Lake Boulevard. In addition to resurfacing work, the outside lane in each direction is closed for curb, catch basin, and sidewalk removals. The work will continue into August. Motorists are encouraged to find an alternative route, but do expect delays if you need to travel through the area. And a reminder, northbound East River Road is closed this weekend. Crews are doing rehabilitative work on the Coon Rapids Boulevard bridges over the BNSF railroad tracks and northbound East River Road. The roadway is set to reopen Monday morning. A Coon Rapids veteran has a new roof over his head thanks to some special volunteers. Scott Favilla, a U.S. Army veteran wounded in the Gulf War, received a new roof today as part of the Owens Corning National Roof Deployment Project. Through a partnership with Purple Heart Homes, Favilla was selected as the recipient of the roof replacement.
Today we're out here doing a free roof for a veteran that served our country, and we're giving back and doing this through Owens Corning, the roof deployment project.
It's nice to see that it's being paid forward. And it's that there, we gave our name on a dotted line saying that, we signed up for whatever's going to happen. And it's nice to see the companies out there that are willing to go that extra mile to help us veterans, that need the help.
The Owens Corning Foundation donated the roofing materials, and Built Strong Exteriors donated the labor. Since the inception of the program in 2016, around 200 military members across the U.S. have received new roofs. Talk about a hands-on lesson. When a Coon Rapids 6th grader heads to middle school this fall, she will have a science experiment to share that is truly out of this world. CTN's Jennifer Anderson has more.
3, 2, 1.
Imagine launching an experiment into space on a real NASA rocket, or reaching the edge of space with a NASA high-altitude balloon. Imagine conducting that experiment at just 11 years of age.
I thought it was really cool how kids could put something in space.
That is Ruby Demmer's current reality. The Coon Rapids student entered the global competition Cubes in Space. Her cube will join dozens more on a trip to near space later this summer.
They're going up in a high-altitude balloon, and the atmosphere is replicating the Martian atmosphere because it's quite similar.
You might think the NASA-sounding rocket garners all the attention, but Ruby chose the balloon launch after she was inspired by the book The Martian and decided to test materials that might be used for shelter on Mars.
It's in here, it's going to go up, and when it comes back down, we're going to see if there's any leaks in it.
Ruby spent many months researching highly sophisticated materials and navigating setbacks.
We talked to some material scientists, and they were like, yeah, it's not going to work very well. And we were like, ah! It taught me that science can go wrong sometimes. Wow, I did all this research, and now we're using chip bags.
In the end, Ruby's cube contains sealed pouches made from a chip bag, a Ziploc freezer bag, and a Mylar balloon. This week, she mails her cube back to join all the others that were selected from around the world. And then she waits.
I feel confident that it'll probably work. I don't feel confident that it will work. I feel confident it will probably work. I mean, science is science. It'd be kind of nice if one of them worked.
After the balloon returns to Earth, Ruby's cube will make its way back to Coon Rapids later this fall. For Community Update, I'm Jennifer Anderson.
Cubes in Space is a nonprofit program open to anyone ages 11 to 18. Learn more about how to support their mission or introduce other students to their STEM opportunities at cubesinspace.com.
Thanks so much.
A steady stream of cars and food donations outside the Coon Rapids Civic Center on Thursday morning. The Senior Center, which is closed due to COVID-19, hosted a drive-by food drive this week. It gave the community a chance to make donations to neighbors in need and visit with staff in a safe, socially distanced way. In the end, the drive raised more than 3,400 pounds of food and more than $2,400 for the ACBC food shelf. If you'd still like to help out, monetary donations can be made online at acbcfoodshelf.com. During a summer of cancellations due to the pandemic, a bright spot starting next week. The Coon Rapids Farmers Market returns on July 15th and continues every Wednesday from 3 to 6 p.m. through October 7th. It's located in the parking lot of the Coon Rapids Ice Center. You'll find fresh vegetables, berries, flowers, honeys, jams, breads, and more. One thing that will be different this year, there are no special event days like Senior Day or Kids Day due to the pandemic. The Farmers Market is sponsored by the Anoka County Growers Association. All right, that is going to bring us to the end of today's show. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you right back here again next week.